Hey guys, Stu again. So, thank you for all the requests for me to make some more videos. So, giving you what you asked for, kind of Kettlebell 101, breaking it down, giving you a series of shorter videos where we're going to just isolate it. So for this video, I debated whether I should start the series with this move or whether I should start the way I started with double arm high tension swings, and I saw both. Ultimately, I decided to start with double arm and then single arm high tension swings, and then move to this exercise, which I tend to call around the world, I think other people call. So the idea of actually, instead of swinging the bell, up and down, this one I'm going to be focused on moving the bell around my body. And this one I will warn people, this is probably the exercise where I'm most susceptible to dropping the bell. And it's also the exercise where I would really encourage you, if you're in your condo or your home, to be aware of your surroundings and be aware of things you might impact, other people who are in your bubble, pets, valuables, your work computer. So just be conscious of your surroundings. And my encouragement to you is to focus, not get too concerned about speed initially, but just to think about the actual process. So again, just like it sounds, what we're doing here is basically, we're going to move the kettlebell around our body. One of the things you noticed is that in picking up the kettlebell, hopefully what you noticed is that the process or the move that I used to pick the bell up off the ground was almost identical, at least initially, the way I addressed the bell from how I do it if I was doing a high tension swing. So I'm not bending over, I'm not curling my back, I'm still addressing it, I'm still lifting the bell up into a position of strength. So quite simply, what we do in this exercise is we're actually going to move the bell around our body. Now, your tendency will be to have your legs spread. And this is a completely acceptable way to do it. As we talked about in the first few videos, stable foundation. This is a good core. I will encourage you, as you get more comfortable, to consider moving to a position where you actually have your feet closer together. This is going to put more focus on your core. It's going to challenge you a little bit more from a balance perspective, and it's going to really challenge you to engage those muscles a little bit more than you would otherwise. So again, when you're starting out, perfectly acceptable to have a wide base. As you get better, or if you feel more comfortable or you want to challenge yourself right from the get-go, start out with your feet close together touching. I like to start with my right hand and move around. It really doesn't matter, you can challenge yourself. So the process here, you want to think about, I want to feel like the bell is stretching my arms a little bit. I actually want to feel like the momentum of the bell is pulling me. I don't want to necessarily feel like I am muscling it. I want to actually feel like there's some tension being applied to my muscles. Now, one of the things you notice I'm doing is I'm swaying, which I tend to do. So I actually have to try to think about really engaging my core when I'm doing high tension swings to try to when I'm doing around the world to control that, but still feel like I am, extending that and getting the momentum. So in a lot of exercises, your instructor will tell you, don't use momentum. Kettlebells, we're gonna use momentum, or we're gonna use things like this. So I might have talked about in one of the first videos that I often use kettlebells. I'm a big fan of active recovery in my exercises, so when I'm doing certain exercises, if I'm doing bench press, I like to then have an active recovery. I'll skip sometimes. The other thing that Kimberly and I will often do when we're working out in the gym is we'll have kettlebell, and between exercises we'll do high tension swings. So easiest thing to do, what I like to do is to do 15 on one side and then switch and do 15 in the reverse direction. Because, you know, roughly each revolution takes a second. So 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. If I do 2 sets, that's a minute. If I do four revolutions, so 2 to the left, 2 to the right, I've got a minute. If I do 8 revolutions or 4 sets to the left and to the right, I've got 2 minutes. So I talked a little bit about putting together a circuit. So real quick, nice warm-up exercise, get your muscles flowing. Do a 2-minute circuit, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 15, 2 minutes. So, between exercises at the gym, you know, another thing is if you like to do body weight exercises, I like to do between, if you do push-ups, I try to do between 100 and 200 push-ups. I'm trying to challenge myself to get to 200 push-ups a day. Between sets of push-ups, swings is a good active recovery tool for you. Here's another variation on the swing. So one of the things that I showed you, so how you can just simply switch direction. The other thing we can do is we can incorporate a freeze. So basically what I'm going to do is, as I get to it, I'm going to basically move the bell into a position where my biceps, I'm going to catch it in this other hand, I'm going to freeze the bell. So think of it from the perspective of, I'm freezing the bell. I actually want to feel like slapping it into my hand. That's what I was looking for, that sound. And freezing the bell. It's stressing my muscles and putting that tension and freezing the bell. So one of the things you can do, that I like to do in that 15, that circuit, that 8 revolution circuit, is that every time I switch direction, I would incorporate a freeze. So 15 and then incorporate a freeze. Do another 15 and then a freeze. And then reverse the directions. So there you go. So around the world, in a few other videos from now, we'll revisit around the world. And I'm going to add a lunge. So using the around the world and a freeze and a lunge. We'll talk about that in one of the videos as we get to more advanced. But at this point you have, 3 exercises: double arm, high tension swing, 2 single arm high tension swings left and right, and you have around the world. You have enough elements there to already create a circuit. So use your creativity. Maybe start out with, 30 seconds of around the world. 15 one direction, 15 the other direction, and then move into high tension swings. Maybe do 15 double arm high tension swings, and then maybe do, 5 or 10 on this arm, 5 or 10. Go back and do some more swings, maybe add the freeze, and then go back into swings, maybe do some left, some right, and then some double arm. Whatever it takes to get to 2 minutes. If you do 2 minutes with those, you're gonna be huffing and puffing. Challenge yourself. Don't go too low in the weight. Be very careful. This is where you could drop the weight, so try to be conscious of it, especially as you're reversing it. You're going to be tempted as you get more comfortable to sort of almost, release the weight early in the swing. Be cautious. If you start to feel a little wobbly, go back. Again, if you need to have a wider stance, go ahead, but I would encourage you to challenge yourself to have that narrower stance and legs in impact. And again, if you do one exercise, if you just have time for one exercise, you have 2 minutes, and you do swings, do 8 sets of 15 alternating direction. That's going to be a great thing. At least you're going to get yourself moving and or use it as an active recovery. Enjoy.